dongle in my car, so I can't plug in my microphone and the charger at the same time. Fuck dongles. So check this shit out. Yesterday, I was scrambling to get a printout. We had, some business cards and stuff, but I didn't exactly have a bunch that said what we do. Look at this. Look at this. You recognize these people? You recognize these people? That's right. That's right. Look at this. We got a fucking sheet. Bada bing. We have Peter.
We have 3 different resumes.
We have 3 different resume folders over here. Now, yesterday I was saying this is the shit pile in front of people, which was a serious mistake according to Ian, and admittedly he's kind of right. So today we have, look, this is Covert. So what is, explain.
This is The Godfather, which obviously is one of the greatest movies of all time. This is the amazing resume.
I don't know, I've never seen it.
This is Waterworld with Kevin Costner and Dennis Hopper. Very mid movie, very mid. So this is for like, kind of resumes. Now this is Manos, The Hands of Fate, which is one of the worst movies of all time. So this is where
the people that say I want to work at Facebook go.
Yeah, exactly. So it's covert, like I'm assuming that a lot of these engineering kids, they don't know. They might know The Godfather, but they probably don't know these 2 movies.
And my apologies for the audio. I do not have my dongle with me. I can only plug in a microphone or a charger, but not both. So I don't feel like we're in a lavalier microphone today anyway. So let's do this. Let's do this, bro. Career fair. I'm using my live channel. I don't want to mess up my main channel. The grate, that stupid fucking subway grate is printing again.
Okay. That makes sense.
That subway grate is gonna be my retirement.
I have to get down to Lewis's.
Look at this. Fucking steroids and human growth hormone.
That's the Irish.
I gotta say, even though I'm not wearing a microphone, the audio built into the Pixel 6 Pro is pretty impressive. But it sucks that you need a damn dongle. Some bullshit that you need a dongle. By the way, I'm plugged into a 50,000 milliamp hour battery, the same one that I used as a hammer to put together that IKEA shelf. Do you trust it? Don't worry, the bag is next to Peter's foot. I got recommended the grade again. Bro, upvote, comment. I don't care if you say something nice. I don't care if you say something mean. Pimp that algorithm. Career fair.
No, we're not married yet. Lewis and Peter Kudo.
He tried to trick me yesterday. He didn't book his own hotel room. He pulled I thought Ian booked one. You know, the yawn. I commented and watched all the way through for you, bruh. Thank you.
You guys your lunch tickets?
We have lunch tickets?
We do, yeah.
Thank you so much.
So between like 11 and 1, it'll be
You know, at
upstairs.
University of Texas in Austin, they didn't even tell us we got lunch. The hospitality here is so much better. Thank you so much. God bless you. We have lunch tickets. That's fine, you guys eat. I ate a lot this morning. I'm on a diet anyway. I gotta lose 8 pounds.
I didn't eat today. I can't eat until the honest.
No, I have no Sudafed today, so I am rocking and ready to go.
And then this is like no.
At one point yesterday, I'm pretty sure I told somebody
Get a refrain.
our mission and purpose is to deliver freedom to technology by giving it users, or something like that.
Waterworld. I figured you would get Waterworld type thing.
Yeah, I don't know if there's like some like subtle thing or whatever.
No, it's just like a movie. I just figured that these like kids wouldn't know movies from the 20th century. They're like, oh,
So thank you, Paul S.
Kevin Costner that I really like.
Yeah, look at the booth we're next to.
Oh, I know. It's beautiful. Yeah, I know. and he's wearing Google open source.
Hey, I was looking at your website, and I was pretty interested in what you guys are doing.
Oh yeah.
So, could you tell me more about what a day to day look at a software like that?
Day-to-day software development. We're a small team right now. We have 2 active software developers.
Why is it good to be able to repair tech?
It's not. You shouldn't be able to repair your own.
Because if you can't repair it, then it's not yours. It's the manufacturer's. And you should own your shit. It shouldn't own you.
What's up, fam? How's it going? Who here is in Houston? You guys stop by. There's not nearly as many people here as there was yesterday.
Yesterday it didn't really kick off until like midday.
Skynet is a Chinese facial recognition company that scraped nearly the entire internet. Please do not free it. What university are you going to do in Dallas? Oh, hey, Paul. We were going to do UT Dallas, and I don't know, something fell through. I drove all the way to Dallas, actually. As I was in the parking lot, I found out that we signed up for the wrong thing, so I had to do the 4-hour drive back right after. Yeah, that was not fun. It was like a week and a half ago. And let's see here. I feel like he should have some of the Fudo content rolling. Yeah, you know what? I actually told that to Lewis. I told that to Lewis that for the next round, next year's job fair, I'm going to have like tablets here playing Fudo content in the background.
Graduate student, computer science graduate student.
So often
I think I will graduate at
We're in a temporary location
next year,
right now.
December next year.
What do you want to do with your life?
Temporary location right now.
SDE.
Kind of
And I'm looking for SDE intern.
You're looking for
enticing
Engineering
our
department.
new office.
Engineer. Yeah.
what problem do you want to solve?
What problem?
Yeah.
Problem. I think
You're the best repairman I know.
something
Fix this.
challenging, but I can fix it. That's a kind of problem.
University internet is nice. Also,
I have
repairman's
experience
next.
with web development, and I have my last intern at Recruitment 2 years ago, and I have worked.
Do you need anti-fan spray to keep
Vue and Vuex to develop website.
Actually, there's not a lot of people here right now.
It's a startup company, and also I have many.
But I'll let the fanboys know.
Java.
And then I'll watch.
Do you have a resume?
Uh-huh.
You have a resume?
Yeah, that's
That's Thank you. Pleasure meeting you.
Thank you.
We have more software things on our audiences.
No vision. Zero vision. Why is Bro, you actually drew it. I'm gonna walk around and see if anybody recognizes it.
I guess time to adjust his live streaming tripod to a normal person's height. There we go. And, let's see. Let's take a look. See, it's not as many people. Yesterday was like super packed. And next Wednesday we're gonna be in San Antonio, which is gonna be a bit more chill. It's a lot closer. Hey Charles. Charles is here again.
How's it going?
We got the crew. Let's see if you guys have any. Let's check the chat. Yeah, Lewis is looking different these days. Are you guys going to Dallas too this week? No, as I was saying, I went up to Dallas and our spot got canceled. I have to write back down. So we're not going to Dallas as far as I know. We're going to San Antonio and then possibly Waco and Arlington. Whatever is at Arlington.
Yeah.
Which Arlington's by Dallas, right?
Yeah, it's between Dallas and Fort Worth. Yeah, so
Yeah.
we'll be going to UT Arlington, but not for the career fair. We were a little slow, and we didn't get a spot. But we're going to go and do a Wednesday night event and try to meet some students and hang out.
Speak up, I can't hear you. Okay, so what he's saying is that, I'll speak up. What he's saying is that we're going to go to UT Arlington, but not for the career fair. We're going to do an event like on a Wednesday night, I think in the next couple of weeks. We're a bit slow with the whole jobs fair thing, but I mean, that's fine because, you know, we're still kind of a small company, so it's not like we're trying to just hire as many people as possible right now. I think these career fairs are in equal parts trying to spread the word of open source and right to repair just as much as it's us looking for possible interns. Chill your channel, Peter. The keynote corner. You know, I was talking with Paul from the chat, Paul Daniels, last night on the phone. Lewis drove me here from Austin, and I told him that I will be driving back. That man drives like a madman, let me tell you. I was having a heart attack.
No star power here.
I was having a heart attack with his driving.
My driving is second to none. You have tens of thousands of miles of video evidence of the quality of my driving. The difference is the bandwidth is so bad with Verizon and AT&T that you can't tell the speed that I'm going. So usually you count how many seconds have gone by and then how many of those white things have gone by. You can calculate my speed.
Yeah.
But they can't do that.
Well, let me tell you, I felt that speed.
Redacted miles per hour. Redacted.
I was going like, Lewis,
Redacted miles.
you need to slow down. I think I said that several times.
Who buys a car that does 0 to 60 in 4 seconds to look at the speedometer? Really? There's a reason they put it off to the side, so you don't look at it.
It's he Paul. There's too many Pauls in this.
Have you seen his bike videos? 19 miles an hour, my friend.
There's too many Pauls in this.
There's no fame power in Houston. The university yesterday, so many people recognize him. Here, nobody. Oh well. Such is life.
These are all.
It's time to watch YouTube.
Yeah.
They gotta work and study all the time.
I wish we had these sheets yesterday, man.
Yeah, me too.
It would have been so much better.
Live and learn. We're getting better.
Next time.
Yeah.
Next year's career fair is going to be a game changer.
You gotta get one of those tablecloths, right?
Yeah.
Like a logo and a name on it and stuff. Maybe like a slogan.
Slogan, yeah.
The GitLab page was kind of ghetto, but this gives a better idea. Like you see logos and pictures and.
Yeah, it was Paul Orr's. Building a Foss aircraft. Look, I think the problem with the Foss aircraft is that you probably have a lot of people crashing and dying for many, many years. Right? Someone was like, he has to hit up Peter on building a Foss aircraft.
There are people that do like experimental aircraft.
Yeah, John Denver.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if I trust. I don't mind if an app, kind of glitches out on
Map crashes.
the map crashes, but a plane.
Airplane.
Yeah,
It's a little
yeah.
more severe. Yeah.
Yeah. See everyone, you know, lining up. We got Google right next to us, guys. Google. My employer. My other employer. I signed a 1099. Google AdSense.
They pay me more than Pluto. Is that a conflict of interest?
Find any big chested mascots yet? Yeah, he found me.
Yeah, the Exxon Mobil booth in McMaster Car. We'll talk about that.
Investor car.
You do? Yeah, it was the first one I noticed. It's hard to not notice it, you know?
Yeah, I don't know what the big like.
Oh yeah,
It's
just,
HP Enterprise, I think.
Which?
I think it's HP.
Oh. Whoa.
does HP have a big place here in Houston?
No, I can't plug a microphone in, man. I don't have my dongle. I left my dongle in my hotel room. This phone requires a dongle. You either have a charger or a microphone. You guys don't get a microphone today. You get a dump. Google is next to you. Tell them to take a long walk off a short pier. I kind of want to DDoS work for that.
Hey, a bunch of students like $2, you can stand in line, ask pointless questions.
That would be fun.
Yeah, just stand in line and just ask them.
How do you get a copy of the YouTube guidelines for demonetization? Yeah, now I would feel for somebody to go out there and ask that shit. It's like a student badge.
Yeah.
You can't use Bluetooth mics. That's a myth. Bluetooth mics do not work with the camera app or the YouTube app. Android has no way of processing. I could bitch at them for that. Why do you direct feed? What? Why are you all caps? Go away. Okay. Bluetooth mics don't work with the YouTube app. No, you can't choose which mic. If you plug in a USB-C mic or a 3.5 millimeter mic, it'll automatically use it. But there's no way to choose a Bluetooth microphone. And honestly, it's best that way because Bluetooth mics are trash. It's compressed to the point where it sounds like a 32 kilobit per second MP3. It's really bad. You get fed. I don't think there's any feds here, but there was the NSA and the CIA at the last career fair.
My employers. My other employers.
I will never stop being an audiophile, Paul Daniels.
YouTube will compress the hell out of it, but if you compress it before YouTube compresses it, it'll make it unlistenable. That's why the meta is to have when I upload a video, is to basically have it like really more as uncompressed as I can.
Hello, how are you?
Hi, I'm a junior at computer science. Are there like any positions around like internet or like software engineer or data engineer?
What do you want to do with your life?
It's a huge question.
I'm still figuring it out, but I've been.
Yes, I still haven't figured it out, but like for now, I guess like I'm do like data engineering, data science, or software engineering.
Do you know what problem that you want to solve? Technology and engineering is about solving real world problems. So rather than like which field of engineering you want to be in, what problem do you think you want to solve?
Well, I don't have like a specific range of like problems I want to solve. I guess I'm kind of into like troubleshooting and debugging, but I know that it's like not a lot like positions open for like juniors and sophomores, like interns to do like support engineers and stuff. But I guess I'm kind of into that because like I do love debugging in my life. More than like developing.
Alright.
But yeah.
Yeah, mostly what we are looking to do is develop alternatives to what you get with, let's say, Google, Microsoft, Apple, Facebook, and so on and so forth. So, for instance, this phone is not using a normal Android operating system like what comes stock with your phone. It's using a de-Googled version of Android, but I can still use my banking apps and everything else. The problem is there's no money in that because it's hard to make money when you're not spying on your users all the time. So he's developing a social media platform that is going to be similar to Facebook without all the spying shit. This, we're working on an alternative to YouTube that allows you to keep your identity. You have a sovereign identity. The content would be posted in a decentralized way, and you would have the indexing would be separate. So we are looking to engineer alternatives to big tech abuses. And if we make money, great. If we don't make money, we don't really care, as long as we make software that doesn't abuse people, spy on them, or take their freedom away.
Alright, thank you for the information.
Have a sheet.
Thank you.
I guess we have our
The first one gave me the answer I was looking for, me, myself, and I. He said, I don't want to live in a world like Cyberpunk or Skynet, and I'm afraid that Google and Facebook are trying to make that happen and nobody cares.
Thank you for the information.
Thank you so much.
I mean, I get it.
See, that's the thing. When I ask that question and somebody tells me I don't want to live in a Skynet world and I think Google and Facebook are moving us there by taking away control from everybody, that dude's resume goes in the Godfather pile. That's the thing. Like, I need to figure out, like, do you want a safe job? Do you want to just make your $400K a year and like go work at Facebook, twiddling your dick all day, helping people spy on people? Or do you want to? Yeah, again, like if it's like, listen, I want a boring, well-paying job working at the post office or the bank or some shit. That's fine. I have no problem with it. But I also don't want to start by opening up with what we do. I want you to, because then you're going to tailor your response to what you think I want to hear. I want to hear what you want to do. We'll go from there. It's not like we're looking for like 90 people.
Oh, okay.
No mic. I left the dongle in my car. I mean, in the hotel room. The dongle is in the hotel room. Just deal with it, man. Just deal with it. You have to have people that are actually excited to solve the problem. You can't have people that just do what you tell them to do. They have to be specifically motivated and excited to want to solve that particular problem. And then everything else kind of falls into place. Yeah, like, again, if you just want to pay your rent, I'm not saying this doesn't pay. This pays, but if your goal is I want to pay rent, go work at the post office, bro. Like, seriously, the Exxon booth is right down there. The Exxon booth is right down there. Or you can work at intellectual property law or something, or Exxon, or I don't know, Google. They're right next to it. It would be hard to find a college kid with enough wisdom to look past the desire to make that $400K a year. I'm not looking for 100 people, man. I'm looking for just a couple. Depends on your skills. The knowledge depends on your skills.
So far from this that we saw yesterday, and that makes about
Like, again, if you want to get a job that's going to make your Like your parents that paid for you to come here from a disadvantaged country proud when they see on the wall that, I don't know, you got a certificate, employee of the month at like Google or Apple or some shit, and that's fine. I have no problem with that. It's just that's not what this is. It's not what this is. There's a lot less people today than yesterday. Yesterday was freaking crazy. More than that, Denali. But there would be a considerable difference in terms of what you get as an intern and what you would get after if things work out and you actually get a full-time job.
Amount of money.
Top software engineer, I probably would have given it an MCU on. Well, it is what it is. Listen, as long as if it's an honest answer, it's the answer I want. What I want is the honest answer. If you're interested or not interested, that's absolutely fine.
I was brought on full time literally after they all brought
Also, the mindset to pay Rice tuition for that education, the mindset to do it. Is there a dropout list as soon as you reference the graduates? Absolutely. Absolutely. You should have hired a girl in a tight dress to be a booth girl. But I'm more attractive, thank you very much. I mean, cutting and everything. Check this shit out. You got a nice polo shirt? You don't think I look good? You don't think I'm sexy? Are you saying you don't think I'm beautiful? Possible?
Yeah. Yeah, he has something to say. But he's the guy that we're talking to in the podcast.
Yeah, root user. Yeah.
He works with Adam Curry on the podcast Index, and then he runs
Yes, Oscar. Yes. I know in college I wanted to max out. I had a few years at a fortunate lunch, and I realized that for more about quality of work, I just started my own firm for freedom. Awesome. The idea of affecting positive change, doing it, especially when involved personal sacrifice, could be the end of the story. Exactly. That's why people put like hashtags in their Twitter and pronouns in the bio, and I don't know, bumper stickers in the car and all that shit, and then go to work at Exxon and Facebook. Easier to say you give a shit than actually give a shit, you know? By the way, Paul Daniels, we're going to arrange an interview at some point. You're on my list. You also got to come to Austin, Texas, Paul Daniels. You got to meet Aaron. He gave me the money that I was able to use to fund that for you. You got to come to Texas. At some point, listen, that's going to be part of, I'm pretty sure this is in the fine print of our arrangement, Paul Daniels. You got to come visit Texas, just once. What if you preface the job as helping restore user freedom and further developing all these technology products and microphone? I already do that. Booth girls are always fun, I'm just saying. Yeah, I kind of understand why the McMaster car and Exxon booths are mildly more attractive than this one. I'll admit it. People at the Exxon and the McMaster booth don't have receding hairlines. Yeah, Paul, you signed the agreement, so. Paul Daniels in the blue chair. Yes.
I'm Peter.
Very nice to meet you.
Meet you.
I'm a junior studying computer science. Are you guys offering software engineering?
Well, you can see what we're doing right here. I have a question. What do you want to do? What is your dream, right?
Just to like make products that kind of contribute to the community as well.
Okay. So what we do is we focus on open source software, software. We also focus on decentralizing the internet and on products that are also take privacy and security into focus on privacy and security. So you can see on the back there, some of our companies and products that were associated with Signal, which you might know, Microchip, Palace Institute, and so that's what we do. We focus on free and open source software. Some of our engineers here. We have a whole bunch of different teams working on things. We're still a small software company. Right now, what we're looking for is interns, which is great for offices. We're located in Austin, and we're looking for interns for both this semester and the spring semester, as well as next summer. So if you're interested in applying for an internship, this is my email right here, and I'm going to be taking resumes electronically. But yeah, I mean, that's everything that is about us is on this page. And if you want to also learn more about us, we have our YouTube channel. And you can learn a lot about us on the
You guys are working on like projects that decentralize the internet. Did you handle that? What kind of projects? Are you like talking blockchain and something like that?
Not quite blockchain. We have investments in some companies that utilize blockchain. But for example, Freenet, and then the next version of Freenet is something called Recutus. So it's like an internet that's peer-to-peer. But also, so we're working on products that basically don't use the client server. Charles can explain that a little bit better than me. About decentralization. Yes. We really focus on that. We're doing stuff with like
Hi, how are you?
Connectivity.
What would you like to do?
Bitcoin.
Right. My name is
loves
Jessica,
Bitcoin.
and I'm a
And,
student of computer
So
science.
I'd say that we're more on the line of using Bitcoin and using blockchain.
Next summer,
We're a bit crypto skeptical.
Like the incentives are just simple, right?
Yeah, the rest of
Simple bites are simple bites. And there's less room there for some third party to be like scamming you, right?
So you guys, so you're offering software engineering as well, right?
Thank you so much.
Software engineering
Have a seat.
Yeah.
for undergrads.
Yeah.
So we do
all of it.
offer the
Two or three
overview.
interns in spring, and 2 or 3 interns in
So
summer.
we do not have on-site here. So we do not have on-site
So
here.
should I submit my
We're in
resume
Austin,
to
Texas.
Yeah, you can give me your resume. Yeah.
or should I just email you after the next
So
week?
I
You can
have
email. Yeah. If you email me, we'll definitely like take a look. But if you just send me your resume.
Do you have like a formal application where
We'll be.
my details?
Yeah, around that time.
Just email it. Yeah. And then we're gonna take a look there.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Yep, no problem.
Thank you for being here.
Pre-recorded. Did I see the NPC thing that you had? I want to say
That's like a really bad. But you know,
it's better than mine. I literally said, "What do you want to do?" And then she just started. It was you could literally hear the pre-recorded dialogue start playing.
Oh yeah.
It was like hitting play on the tape recorder, and you hear the hiss in the beginning for 3 seconds, and then it starts.
Yeah.
Like even the amount of delay between the question and the answer.
The last guy.
I swear to Christ, that was a robot that I just talked to.
The last guy was like, I don't know what you mean by. Like,
These people rehearse this shit in the mirror. This is the complete opposite of the Austin. They rehearse this in the mirror, and then they just play back the pre-recorded dialogue that they rehearsed in the mirror. I said like, so what would you like to do? And she goes, hi, my name is, and I am getting a degree in, and I have this skill. And it's like, bro, the question.
I mean,
I know.
it's extremely difficult to like interview in a foreign language.
Yeah.
Right. Like so. Like.
I was probably like that when I was that age. Now I'm like going back to my teenage job interviews and wondering if this is what it was like.
Yeah. But,
I wish we had these sheets for the one yesterday, but we had like 3 people that were interested. If anything, it filtered out the people that were really interested. Because you had to be really interested to look at that fucking GitLab control P. And be like, yeah, I want to work here. We learned something for next time. Yeah, the video with Ian Clark got re-uploaded today, but that was with good cameras. That was with Peter's camera work.
And I also took out about 50 to 60% of the owns.
I had a lot of fun with it.
No. And, but, you know, it's not a public speaker.
I think Peter's giving Sherlock a run for his money with the thumbnails too. I appreciate it.
I wanted a different thumbnail, so people would think it's a different video.
No, it's a quality thumbnail. I appreciate it.
It's just the Joe Rogan thumbnail. I literally just took Joe Rogan thumbnails and like the exact same like color, just so that people would maybe think that it's a Joe Rogan video.
That's fucked up. No, if it works, it works. I have a pretty good idea about how they are coached into this. They are trying to be as professional as possible, but sometimes overcompensate. Sudafed Lewis likes to beat down the NSA. Why didn't we do the arm wrestling match with the NSA yesterday? Because we were working.
Yeah.
I want to do an arm wrestling match with the NSA. We win, you shut down your Utah data center. You win, you can install it with chicken.
They can put Neuralink.
How are you?
I'm currently looking for a full-time job after I graduate.
When you graduate?
Uh,
Very soon.
this semester, and I'm looking specifically for data science.
So what do you want to do specifically?
Yeah, data science, like full-time data science, but like more like the traditional data science. But I'm also open to like data analytics as well.
I don't know if there's much that we have in that. Data science, data analytics, Charles. Not really.
Yeah, maybe in 1 or 2 years.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay, yeah, sorry. Thank
Thank
you.
you so much. Do you guys want to see an arm wrestling match with the Google booth next door?
Making a list of things that we should get for the next
What do you have on the list?
tablecloth thing.
This is a tablecloth. Oh, wait, never mind.
Like the slogan or something that we have.
Handouts. You definitely have to. So, like water, stuff to go on it, water bottles, stickers, hats. Raspberry pies. Branded raspberry pies. It's a very special one. Now, what would be the I'm going to EOG right now. Also, yeah, I think EOG driving. I'm going to go down to EOG.
I feel much better than yesterday too, Ro. Hello, how are you? do you want to do?
So I'm a dual degree. I'm doing a Bachelor of Science in Statistics, a minor in Data Science, and a Bachelor of Arts in Psychology. And I'm interested in the summer in like pursuing something like data analytics, data science, or something like in the statistics field. And I was wondering if you guys offer it.
We don't have anything for data analytics and data science, I'm afraid. Not for at least the next 2 years.
That's okay. Thank you.
Right, and so you can see when all the folks are
How are you?
Yeah, sorry. I'm not familiar with the company. I'm just learn more about it.
What do you want to do?
So I'm in computer engineering and computer science. So anything from software engineering to sort of chip design is sort of like my general area.
At this point in time, you have a very small number of companies that created the services that we all use for everything, whether it's phone services, social media platforms, and most of these companies have a business model of you are the product. So they are going they will give you services for free in exchange for taking your data, selling your data, using your data to readers constantly try and advertise to you or recommend things to you that you may not even want to watch, listen to all the time. The problem is that all those products, they're very good because they have a lot of money. And business models that don't do that don't make it. We don't really care if we actually make money. We simply want to engineer and create alternatives to these products that don't abuse people. So even if we never make a profit, that's totally fine. So like some examples, like it's a C corp that's kind of run like a nonprofit. Like for instance, we gave a grant to Calix Institute and Graphene OS. They're making a de-Googled or the version of Android that has less of Google's junk in it, but you can still use things like banking apps and maps and Grubhub and Uber. We gave a grant to the creator of the Freenet project, which is a decentralized internet. We gave a grant to MicroG, and we were also looking to develop certain things in-house. Like he has a team that's working on a Facebook alternative in-house. We would like to create a decentralized alternative to YouTube, but that's actually functional. So the whole idea is that you should own your identity. None of everything should be open source, and everything we create should not have a you are the product as fighting the shift towards fighting the shift towards you not owning your like for example, you don't own your identity. So YouTube owns your identity. YouTube owns the content because they're hosting it, and they own the index. The index should be separate from the hosting of the content, and the hosting of the content should be somewhat separate from you having your identity that you own. And one company shouldn't simply be able to delete you entirely.
But yeah, if you want to read more about us online and everything, a new kind of up-and-coming software.
Yeah, so we have two different ways of doing it. One is through grants. We give no strings attached grants to people doing work in the area, and then we manage their project and see how it's working out to see if we continue giving money if they continue to do
open source.
And secondly, we have some in-house engineering projects. So if nobody's doing what it is that we're looking to do well, we'll try to
it's an internship right now. What year are you?
So what sort of in-house
sophomore. So we have undergrad. Yeah. So.
That's something that we're going to be doing. He's been working on a Facebook alternative for the past 6 months to a year. We are working on something called FUBs. It's like a programming ID from scratch. The whole idea is to have something that boots on bare metal with under 100,000 lines of code, which is kind of like boiling the ocean. It's a very difficult thing to do. It's like the minimum viable product isn't until 2024.
That's who we are.
I don't know. I think to really build these alternatives out and have them accessible to people, you have to make it as good as your
For an internship, no, not really.
A lot of normal, average, everyday people are going to say, I don't understand why I need this, and use the original. And we're okay with it. The idea is that it should be good enough. It should be functional, and it should work. A lot of people are going to say, I don't care if I own my identity. I don't care if I'm getting spied on. I don't care if that they're collecting all my data. And those people, we'd like them to use this stuff, but if they don't want to use that stuff, that's fine. But people should at least have the option.
What do you want to do?
Like right now when it comes to phone ecosystems, you have Apple, who says you're not even allowed to install an app on your own device if we don't want you to.
What do you study right now?
Well, you have Android. We have some freedom with these Google Play services on the phone that's spying on everything you do and uploading it to Google. Like you don't really have a choice. And we think there should be a choice. A lot of people are not going to care about the choice, but it should be available to them if they want. And it should not suck. And it should be open source that they actually know what's going on with their cell phone.
Yeah.
Put you next to Google.
Whoever put us next to Google is definitely memeing, but I'll arm wrestle them any day of the week.
So
Have a
what we
sheet.
do is we develop products.
Oh, yeah.
We do a lot of investments. So we're kind of like half of the.
Sort of interesting. I never
One
thought
half of
about
us
that.
is the VC. The other half of us is a fund. I kind of work on the VC side of it.
It doesn't make any money, so I mean, it's not really something that people are interested in doing.
And you can see on the
So the
back
person
here,
that started this
we
business,
invest in open source,
he was a programmer at WhatsApp
software,
before they sold out to
privacy
Facebook.
software.
And his argument to the co-founders was, we have more people uploading pictures to our platform than Facebook. Mark Zuckerberg hates his users and treats them like shit and spies on them. Let's compete with them. Let's keep going. And they said, no, we want the $20 billion. And he didn't have a say in not selling out because he was only a 2% owner. So he wants to use the money that he made from that sale to fund things that don't abuse people.
So it's sort of like,
And I think that actually
so there's
Twitter
your in-house
DMs are
development
using
side, and there's
technology
also
and signal to put into
side.
Yeah, there's an in-house side, and then I would call it more grants than venture capital.
yeah,
Venture
so
capital is,
that's kind of
we are going to
what
give you a
we-
loan,
what we do. Our
we're going to
founder
own a lot of your
was
company,
staff.
and if you're successful, we will make a lot of money.
And,
Like here,
was the early
like this dude got
person
$200,000
Yahoo
as a no strings attached grant. This guy got $40,000. This guy got $40,000. This guy got $200,000. We don't own any of these businesses. It's literally like, thank you for doing something good for society. Here's money. Keep doing it. And like there, and for areas where we don't believe somebody is currently doing that work, we would want to develop it ourselves. So like the YouTube alternative.
Yeah, open
I haven't
source,
seen somebody
so,
that's working on a
GraphNox,
specific thing that we're looking
OS,
for.
and-
Sovereign identity, decentralized content hosting,
looking into,
competing indexes, like stuff like. So,
we've
for
definitely
instance, if
been
you don't like the
looking
YouTube
into
recommendation system,
Substack.
but you can't go to another recommendation system. There's no other
DLC
index for
and
searching their
Linux
content.
space,
They host it,
operating
and they also are the index.
But yeah, so that's
And they
that's
also,
what
like,
we do.
for things where there's not an alternative out there, we'd like to program that in-house. But for areas where somebody else is already doing good work, so it's giving you control of your product and control over it, we're happy to give them money to keep doing what they're doing.
Yeah. So we're based out of Austin, and
I know, I was talking to somebody who
and
makes their living.
we're gonna have 2 to 3 interns per semester.
They're basically
summer
beholden
semester.
to this, right?
You know,
Because they create
and,
content for it, and
If you want to know more about the software engineering side of
they
things,
can't control the platform. Anything
You're telling me, I have over 1 million subscribers on YouTube, and if I want to talk to somebody because I have a problem, tough luck. There's nobody. And sometimes I had,
strike you, like,
oh, let me tell you something. I had a video of my cat. His name is Mr. Clinton. He's very cute, and he was meowing, and he was really angry. So I decided to record it for YouTube. It was 1 minute and 30 seconds. They flagged it as hate speech. It's a cat meowing. I got a strike on my channel for a cat meowing, and there was nobody for me to talk to for a week. Like there should be alternatives to this.
yeah,
stuff.
it's pretty easy.
what's your channel?
Rossman Group. I'll give you a card. So I have been doing something called Right to Repair for the past 10 years. I have a
I know
repair
you.
shop. Small world.
Oh yeah, because
All right.
I do recognize you. Yeah.
My entire brand essentially is giving a fuck you to these guys next door.
wanna hear
And now I get to do it professionally, so it's awesome.
That's cool.
I'll forgive you for not recognizing me. I have a polo shirt on. I look like a dipshit today. But thank you. It was a pleasure meeting you. You have a resume? Anything? Any interest? No interest?
I have.
Want to go work for Google or IBM? It's fine. I won't hold it against you.
Do you have LinkedIn?
I don't.
Yeah,
But you have my card. It has
I've
my
seen
number.
your videos. Lots of like your MacBook repair stuff.
What do you want to do when you grow up? What do you want to do with your life?
So I'm sort of studying computer engineering and computer science, and I don't really know what I want to do beyond that. Anything from like robotics to different like circuit design to software engineering.
Are there any problems? So engineering and technology is there to fix real world problems. Are there any specific real world problems that you say, I want to fix this. I want to make this better? Anything in specific?
Yeah, I mean anything where humans are doing it now and it's dangerous to humans and robots can do it instead.
Okay, cool.
Is a big area of interest to me. Also embedded systems type things.
If you know what problems you want to solve, you'll be ahead of 99% of the people here. Because most people, they think, I want to do this particular skill, but they don't know what problem they want to solve, rather than find the problem they want to solve and then figure out what skills are necessary to do it. So if you know what problem you want to solve, you'll be ahead of 99% of the people here when it comes to finding your way in a career.
This is maybe a little off topic, but what are your thoughts on Apple's new like right to repair, like they're like
It's bullshit.
half bone that they throw to the right to repair?
No, it's bullshit. So the program itself, you can't buy parts as a repair shop. You can only buy it with serials. You can't get access to 99% of the parts you need for an iPhone. You can't buy a charge port to an iPhone. Like Samsung's program doesn't allow you to buy a battery. Apple's program doesn't allow you to buy a charge port. If you combine them together, you can charge a phone. Like, in my opinion, they're doing the absolute bare minimum necessary to be able to show a pamphlet to a senator that says, look, we've done everything you asked. Don't bother legislating us. We've done nothing wrong. I think I like that they make the screens available for end users. That's good. And they make the battery available. That's cool. And for like independent repair shops, their program for independent repair shops is horrible.
Sure. I work for.
Like you still can't get. I can't get a schematic if I want to buy it. Like, I can't get it. So I still have to pirate stuff. I still have to use this ridiculously buggy software from Australia to be able to look through my board views and everything.
I saw in your videos talking about that. Like, you don't have all of the documents. You have like some that are leaked from factories and stuff.
Yeah. You have to steal the documents and then use this ridiculous Australian software to make it work.
Yeah, no problem.
It was a pleasure meeting you, sir.
Yeah, it was good to meet you.
You have my card. Hey, how are you? What do you want to do with your life?
So I'm a grad student. I graduate this December and I'm trying to look for software engineering course. I have prior work experience before in front-end, back-end, and full stack. Some C++ internship that I did this summer. C++ internship on C++ that I did this summer. So do you have any job opportunities there?
Well, we were looking for software engineering interns. Well, mostly what we do are we try to create alternatives to software that's created by Google and Facebook and companies that see the user as the product. So they see the user as the product. You're constantly mining your data to advertise to you. Same thing with YouTube, same thing with Facebook. We would like to create alternatives that are open source, that do not sell out to Google, Facebook, and Microsoft, and that do not see the user as the product. So for instance, like this phone that I'm using, it runs an Android open source project, not their Android, but I can still use banking apps and maps and everything else because it puts the Google Play Services framework as a non-privileged user. So like there are two things we do here. A, we give money to groups, no strings attached, that are doing work to give users freedom over their devices, like people that were working on the phone that we use, Micro G, etc. And when there's no project out there doing what we want to do, we have in-house engineering projects to do.
So do you have any full-time roles? Are you looking for full-time roles or just...
Yeah, Charles. Yeah, yes. We're not a repair shop at Fudo 7803. This isn't a repair shop. That would be the Lewis Rossman for the repair. Lewis claiming YouTube algorithm can't properly translate cat meows. They said my pet cat was hate speech.
Yeah.
The video was an angry Clinton. Yes.
Already like started.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a software computer science student. I'm looking for a software engineering role.
Thank you, Hugo.
I was wondering
He's a good dude.
what kind of company this is.
So we're a company that focuses
Hugo, I wouldn't work for a piece of shit. I have not taken a single sponsor and a single ad in 10 years. But this I'll do as a sponsor full time.
privacy.
I'll pimp this shit all day long.
You can see on the back here, these are companies that we have either are under our umbrella or companies we've made investments in. So Signal, which is probably one of the biggest, Recruitment, right to repair organization, Alex Scrap Feature, Android open source projects. So that's the realm in which
This woman in front of me is admiring the Google booth and admiring us. She looked at Google, then looked at us, then looked at Google, then came here.
That's
I like that.
Specifically, I'm looking
She gives her resume and putting it in the job.
Okay. So, what kind of, do you have any, I guess
I don't have any like projects so far. Like, I'm still working on stuff, but I know Python,
Yeah. Sorry, my mind's blank. Questions to ask.
Questions of him or you?
No. I didn't want to ask you a question. My mind just went completely blank.
What do you want to do with your life?
I mean, I'm a computer science student. I want to be a software engineer. I don't know whether I want like full stack backend front end. But I want to kind of try an internship, see what I like. See how I like.
What we're about here is we're about engineering solutions to big tech abuses. So, for instance, like their business model over there is you are the product. Your phone is collecting data on you all the time. It's uploading it back to them. YouTube is collecting data on everything you watch. Every time you use the voice to text on your phone, it's recording it and keeping it for 10 years. Facebook's business model is to do psychological experiments on its users and simultaneously collect everything about you all the time. We want alternatives to that don't see the user as the product. And if we make money doing it, great. If we don't make money doing it, then whatever. That's not the goal. Our goal is to create software that's open source, that does not sell out to a monopolist, that does not see the user as the product. So for instance, like this phone, it's not running stock Android, it's running a form of Android called Graphene OS. It takes Google's Play services and doesn't allow it to run as a privileged user, so that when it tries to see what I'm doing in all my apps that spy on me, it's not able to do that. The thing is, there's no money in doing it. So what we did is we gave them money to continue developing. He's trying to work on a decentralized internet. They're trying to come up with another alternative to Google services on a phone. This is actually my nonprofit, Right to Repair. So we have two things we do here. A, we give money to people with no strings attached, to people who are creating this type of software. And B, when it doesn't exist, we work to develop it in-house. So it's pretty much the opposite of working at Google or Facebook. We look across the landscape, we try to figure out what it is, what's missing, what is bad about the alternatives. Like for instance, there's something called organic maps for Android. It's not as good as Google Maps. Try to figure out what's not good about it, and then figure out, would we be better off giving them money to make it better, or can we do something better ourselves? So this was started by the founder of Yahoo Games and a lead programmer at WhatsApp. He was not happy with his co-founder's decision to sell out to Facebook, but since it wasn't his decision to sell out, he wanted to stay. He wanted to say, like, we're going to compete with Facebook and we're going to win. They said, no, we want the $20 billion. So he wants to use the money that he got from that forced sale to kind of make the world a better place rather than a world where you're controlled by one or two companies. If that sounds interesting, then...
The whole company philosophy is really interesting. I think it's super important in this day and age, as you said, about the data stealing and privacy. So I guess, could I get your information just so I can follow up?
Absolutely. Let's see, you have a card? You can send an email?
Alright, are you Peter?
He's Peter. And pleasure meeting you, and if you have a resume, you're more than welcome to leave.
I did.
Ah, beautiful.
Nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you.
So do you know much about our organization? So, question, what do you want to do with your life? What do you want to do? What's your dream, like, dream job, dream project, right?
I don't quite know yet. I kind of originally I was planning to come straight out of undergrad, go to industry and construction.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't interested in that guy anyway.
Oh, you're mechanical engineering.
Mechanical engineering, yeah.
Oh, okay, we're software.
It's true, they did do psychological experiments on their users in 2015.
I just noticed that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no worries.
Thank you.
That's not a conspiracy. Facebook did do psychological experiments on their users. What they did is they rearranged the order in certain people's timelines, where certain people had the happier post show first, and others had the sadder post show first, rather than it simply being a timeline feed in chronological order. And then they wanted to see, did it actually change people's moods on what they posted, if they saw more sad shit in their timeline. That was in 2014 and 2015, and they did find out that it actually did affect their personality. So that's what they did, that's what I call it, it's the truth. If somebody doesn't like it, they shouldn't be fucking working. I agree, and that's for the next one. Be myself. True. We would need a hands-on device, Oscar. That would require a device.
that you encourage your pair to like it's off topic, John DeCumo. It's too off topic. It's way too off topic. That woman you just spoke to, look at the Google booth and then our booth, like back and forth for a full 30 seconds and then came here. Anyway, I wanted to put a check mark on it. What did you think of it? Where's your resume? Which one was yours? The one that, yeah. Oh, never mind. She gave it to Google, didn't she? Never mind, I take it back. Oh, so that's huge. That's huge. So I'm not at all familiar with we're brand new. We're Austin Girls. Okay. Oh, wow. That's a little software company. Trying to build all some of like the big tech platform. But that's all like cattle. Right. So, back to control their own neighborhoods, like alternatives to a lot of these things. So our first product was launched this fall. My project, it's an app that works a lot like Facebook. Yeah. Post pictures, videos, and text and stuff. And it looks a lot like basic work. Behind the scenes, it's all Android contributing using open source. I'm going to stream my drive back to Houston so that you can see that Peter's full of it on my driving. My driving is exceptional. Exceptional.
I will be vindicated. Hey there. Nice to meet you. Frank. Peter, what's your name? Peter.
That all makes sense. I'm a sophomore in computer science.
Okay.
Last summer I was in IT trying to have education, just like a summer stack desk, and now I'm looking for a software engineering.
Okay. What year are you?
It's sophomore.
Oh, sophomore. Okay. What is it that you want to do with coding, software engineering?
Like just in general, or like what feels nice?
Yeah, like what is it you love doing?
I like making things I'm passionate about. Like this one project I made over the summer was like I made this like kind of game about movies, but I'm really passionate about like film.
Okay.
So I kind of made this game that you could like test your movie knowledge about.
Okay.
So like it's not really something big, but I was passionate about it. I thought it was pretty cool.
What kind of movies were you asking questions about?
So like do you know about this website called Letterboxd?
Yeah.
So
I'm a movie YouTuber.
really?
Yeah.
That's awesome. So like do you know the IMDb like higher lower rating game?
Yeah.
So I basically made that by using Letterboxd ratings.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know a lot about movies. What is your favorite movie? That's the question.
Thanks. That's my chance here. I love the original Top Gun.
Oh, the original Top Gun?
Yeah.
It's pretty, yeah, my brother loves that. I actually thought that Maverick was better. I like Maverick better.
I think it's a better movie. I just love the cheesiness of the original one.
Yeah, the original one is pretty, like, Maverick did take away some of the cheesiness.
Like the flight sequence is a lot better and stuff.
Yeah, I really like it. Yeah, did you see Vsauce Freeze video on Top Gun? Oh, that was a really good video. Yeah. But, I'm a movie YouTuber who works with a software company. So we do a lot of free and open source software. You can see on the back, we're kind of one part like venture capital, one part, VC investment, grant giving organization, kind of all mix of things into one part software company. So these are some companies that we've invested in or we have in our umbrella. Signal probably being the biggest one. Our founder was one of the earliest investors in WhatsApp and one of the largest stockholders in Tesla. And basically just in Silicon Valley, made a lot of money, and then was like, I don't like the business models in Silicon Valley, so we tried to develop software that goes against what we see as predatory business models in Silicon Valley, where they use people, the customer as a product. So we kind of want to reverse it. We want people who use software to not be the product. We want the product. Kind of what we're going for. So, do you have any like projects that you? Oh yeah, you worked on the movie project. So how was that? Like how was that developed?
I kind of thought about how I wanted to look, and then like figure out like how to actually get the movies into like my project itself was like the most difficult part. I think I had to use like I developed it in Python using Pygame, and then I had to use like a beautiful suit module to like parse the. I used web scraping rather than using the actual like parsing API.
Yeah.
So like scraping the website and parsing it and stuff like that.
Okay. Is can I find your game anywhere?
Yeah, it's on my GitHub.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Do you want my resume? My GitHub?
Yeah, sure.
So I'm kind of wondering, like, what type of projects would a software engineering intern work on?
That's a question for Charles here. What type of projects would a software engineering intern work on?
So I see that you're usually looking for only like 2 to 3 paid interns. So like how large is the team that's here?
Startup, so it's not at all process heavy. It's very disorganized. There's need for that into the spectrum. But it's I've worked at other places where
I'm kind of interested in retail. I've heard about it before. I'm kind of interested in the work retail does. I've heard about them in the past. I'm just curious about a lot of things.
Sure, we're looking for software engineering interns at this point in time to help us work on some in-house projects that we're working on.
Is it for like the coming summer?
One for the fall and one for the summer.
This fall?
Yeah.
Cool. What's the software engineer that? What's specifically like what they're doing like a software engineer? Like what type of projects?
Brainstorming and helping us build out. I can give you one example of the project. So he's working on an alternative to Facebook. That's about 6 months ago. We're working on, as well as that, a decentralized alternative to YouTube, where your identity is separate from the content hosting, which is separate from the indexing. So it's kind of, so the entire idea is that right now 2 to 4 companies own your life. So if you want a phone, you have a choice between Apple, where you can't even install an application without their permission, or Google, which spies on you at every single instance and uploads your data. So what we do is we either A, try to develop something in-house, or B, give a large amounts of money to people that are creating alternatives. So like this phone does not allow Google Play services and framework to run as a privileged user, which means it can't spy on everything you do. The thing is, there's no money in this. It's like literally the tree of life. So we give you $30,000. It's not a venture capital thing. It's not a we own 5% of your business. Here you go, keep doing what you're doing. So we did that for Micro-G and Calyx, so we're also developing an operating system that's similar. We're looking to pretty much engineer alternatives to big tech abuse. Open source, you're not the product, and it should be, and it should not sell out to a monopolist. There's really, if we make money off of this, that would be amazing. If we don't, it doesn't really matter. The founder was one of the primary programmers of WhatsApp before it got sold to Facebook. He did not want to sell. His partners forced him into selling. He wanted to compete, but he didn't win. I already have enough money, I don't care.
but he got forced into a 9-figure payout, and he's using that to fund this. If he wants to create software that does not abuse users, that does not see you as a product, if it makes money, great. If it doesn't make money, as long as you make something that's joyful to use, we're happy.
Right, so I just understand the brand.
Yeah, it's like
Any leeway on more hardware side, hardware, software,
one of the projects that we have is we really like to work on a social media plan. If you email me, I can send you a link to it. Which is again, that's really not the idea of a sovereign identity.
Oh, yeah.
Private public key user. Then you would have a decentralized content,
and that's about the extent that we're
and then you would have an index. And these would all be 3 separate components.
But
so for instance, like with YouTube, a lot of people don't like the
90%
recommendation
of
algorithm.
the
There's only one
software. He's
recommendation
like
algorithm.
one hardware.
So you have an index, one host,
So you're
and one person who controls the identity. We'd want to create an alternative.
So is that more hardware
where you
based?
own your identity, where the content hosting is decentralized, where the index itself is separate. And you could have different indexes decide that they want to index specific creators and content. It would be like a different type of publishing system.
Okay.
So we are in the process of brainstorming that. And it requires people to
American Standard or
people who are passionate about working on that.
Yeah, I know American Standard.
so Frame makes the AC for American.
There's a bunch of different small projects.
Basically developing their
If any of that sounds interesting and exciting,
thermostat competitor.
Yeah.
So we were on the software testing for that.
I feel like
So is that creating like low-level software?
It was end to end.
Okay.
So yes, it was more low level.
Yeah.
More low level hardware software.
that is an excellent question for Charles. He's head of software. I'm a booth manager.
Yeah, we do have a project that is like that.
Yeah, he's the lead software engineer.
We may have to talk to Charles about that. We do have a project, Bubs, that you can read about on our website, that is a low-level embedded system.
So that's what I was that's what I was wondering about was the software development for FUBs or for something else.
Yeah,
It would be.
you don't need me to tell you.
Well,
that
if that's your specialty, it would be for. That's why I think you should talk to Charles, because he's our engineer.
He gave me a donation
more about
$1 million.
he can tell you more about it than I can. I'm kind of on the.
I didn't know what this
I'm on like
organization
the
was, so
investment
I
side.
thought I was getting a prank call. You know how many prank calls I get? My phone number is public.
oh, that's fair.
I get prank calls nonstop, so it's like, what would you do with $1 million?
Grants. I'm on the side of reaching out, trying
I
to
go
find
back to
people.
my stream, I'm fixing a motherboard, and then I get a $100 super chat that says, not a prank, pick up the phone. So my goal is to get more people involved, more people understand what he's doing, to add some credibility to the organization so that people actually want to work with it. Because it sounds like a scam. A dude that wants to give away money, that doesn't want to make money, that just wants to create software that doesn't abuse people. He sounds like it's strict email, so people don't believe it. So my goal is to get people to believe it, and his goal is to be able to explain to you what the requirements are, because I can't even code in GW Basic. So if you ask him, he'd be happy to answer all that. Have a sheet. You have my card? Beautiful.
Is it any chance I did it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, what the hell? We can have it on stream too. What the fuck?
Oh, is it all straight?
Yeah. Bada bing. Let's get a picture. They put us next to the Google booth. Can you believe this?
I mean, it's perfect. What else?
I'm arm wrestling with the cameras. 100%. I want to know why my video. You know my cat?
Yeah.
I got a strike for hate speech on one of his videos. It was literally him meowing for 2 minutes. I went to arm wrestling until he's like, why? He's going. Yeah, ask Charles about the requirements. I can't quote for shit. Yeah, I missed this edition list, but more because of the dust allergy. I screwed myself up, and if I tried to work out on Sudafed yesterday, I'd probably have killed myself. Hey, how's it going?
Pretty well. How about you?
What do you want to do with your life?
You know, I'm still trying to figure that out.
Most people are. Me too.
So wait, what? I've never heard. What is it?
It's a company that's looking to engineer solutions to big tech abuses, which is weird that they put us next to the fucking Google booth. So the idea is with most companies nowadays, you are the product. You get everything for free with Facebook or with Google. but they're constantly mining your data, they're selling it, they're using it to recommend and advertise shit to you, and at the end of the day, you don't actually own anything. Like, you don't own your identity on YouTube, you don't own your identity on Facebook. They own your content, they own the means of being able to find you, and they own your. We are looking to engineer alternatives to that. So the idea here is we do two things. Behind door number one, we give money to people who are doing that.
Oh, yeah, Signal.
Yeah, so like Calyx, Graphene, they make alternatives to stock Android that try to get rid of Google's control on you as much as possible. So if you use the Android Open Source Project Bear, you can't use a banking app, you can't use Uber, you can't use Lyft. With them you can, but they managed to make it so that Google services that are required for this to run are not run as a privileged user, so that they don't get your data, but you retain your privacy, but you can still use your phone. So we gave these people hundreds of thousands of dollars, no strings attached, no ownership of their business, just keep doing what you're doing. The second thing that we do is when a project does not exist out there for us to fund that is an alternative, we will try to build it ourselves. So he's trying to build an alternative to Facebook, and he's being funded to do that. We have a few engineers working on that. We'd like to build an alternative to YouTube. We've started brainstorming it, where you own your identity, the content is decentralized, the indexes that index it are competing with one another, and that requires some programmers to do it. So pretty much, this is the opposite of working at Google and Facebook.
You've sold me there. So your current projects are they turn Facebook, turn YouTube. So then what's the, so then how do you do that? Because obviously the way they do is free content that you would, that they sell you. So then what's the monetization scheme?
There is none.
No, there's none. So then is it just funded by donation?
The person who ran this, the person who created this was funded by he was one of the main programmers in
what's up, Jay Conky?
He did not want to sell to Facebook. He doesn't like their business model. He doesn't like the advertising. He doesn't like the contempt that Mark Zuckerberg appears to have for the users. But his co-founders wanted to
Yeah,
sell.
we got stuck right next to Google.
He didn't.
Kind of funny.
So he got a good amount of money from it. And he invested
I guess they're putting the
so that's how he's
software
paying for the programmers and everything else. If we make money doing this, that is great.
That is Google.
If we never make a dime, that's also fine. There's more than enough money to fund it for a very long time. So his idea is we want to make software that does not abuse users, because he spent enough time investing in or being a lot of the companies he worked for, they wanted to selling out and abusing their users. Oh, what kind of background? Like he used to work at Yahoo in the mid-90s. He didn't even like the advertising model. He quit in 2004.
That's actually, that's very
Yeah, back in 1999, the CEO of Yahoo had killed AOL on his license book. It's like it was a cool place to work, but it slowly became more established. So every company that he's worked at wound up selling out to a large organization, and it wasn't his choice. And he made a lot of money from it. The idea is to use that money that he made from this to fund solutions that don't abuse you. So for instance, with that, if you have decentralized content hosting, you don't necessarily, if you're a manner, you don't have to pay for hosting. If you have an index, and you would also have different indexes that are competing with each other. With open source, you don't really need to pay a lot to maintain. But it's the creation of the project that is the most intensive part. And that's being funded by business money.
Funded by advertising money in a way.
Yeah, but when it comes to like the monetization models, like it would mostly be, we believe in the Patreon model. So for instance, if you're a content creator on this platform, something where you would be able to pay the content creator directly if you liked the video, if you thought it was good content, something built in that allows you to pay them, we would want that. And we don't expect to get a percentage of it or anything like that.
Okay, that makes, and that's kind of.
But the patronage model makes more sense, because when you have an advertising model, what happens is the content that is the most edgy, even if it's not necessarily correct, winds up rising to the top. So you're constantly motivated and incentivized to create content that is more and more edgy, regardless of whether it's correct. And that creates a lot of political polarization, hatred, and motivation, versus creating content that people actually find valuable.
Right. So then, what would be the difference, say, between this and that model and say Patreon?
Okay.
Well, Patreon, if Jack Ponzi doesn't like you, you're gone. Again, you don't own your identity. You don't own the platform. That's the problem with it. So like on YouTube, for instance, I have 1 million subscribers on my channel, and every now and then I record a video of my cat. He's very cute. His name is Mr. Clinton, and he yells, At one time, he spent 1.5 minutes meowing, and I did a video on him, and it got a strike for hate speech. And I appealed to him. It's a cat meowing. It's a cat. It's a cat. And you can't ask anybody what happened. If I get 2 more of those, my channel's gone. Here, if you own your identity, I don't have to care if you delete. So the content is decentralized, you can't delete it. And if I own my identity, I can take the negative. The problem is with the index. Google is the index, is the host, and they own your identity. So here, if one index decides we don't like Lewis's stuff, we think it's cat of hate speech, they can get rid of it. But if you have numerous indexes to go to index the content, it doesn't matter if one index decides we don't want this on there, another one will.
Oh, got it. You just choose the index out.
Well, you can publish to as many indexes. You can whitelist as many indexes as you want. That's the idea. And you can have different indexes that also have different recommendation engines. So, like right now with YouTube recommendation engine, the problem is nobody knows how it works. How does this recommendation engine figure out what you like or what you hate? It's not open source at all. So you should be able to have the choice. I want a platform with no recommendation engine. I want a platform with a recommendation engine that mines my data as much as possible. But here's right now. I want more. That should be an option. And you don't have any choice right now. You have like one option. And nobody tries to program an alternative to YouTube because you need a lot of money. And it's not going to make any money if you program it. We don't care.
But you still in this way because you have the money.
We do not care.
Exactly.
This is essentially that's pretty much what it is.
Yeah. Okay.
So if it makes money, great. If it doesn't make money, who cares? As long as we put something out into the world that's good, that's open source, that doesn't abuse the user.
Yeah. No. I mean, so I guess the other question is how would you do it? Like say hate speech,
You can have different indexes. Some indexes are going to say, you know what, we don't want this crap, and the people may choose to use those indexes. Other indexes may say, sure, leave it up, whatever. Because different people have different ideas of what it is, and that's the problem. I didn't really realize this was a problem myself until my cat got in trouble for hate speech, and he meows. So like,
maybe he was saying something like incredibly offensive.
He sounds like he's cursing me out because he wants to green me, and I think that's probably what did. But in all there are going to be different indexes, and some will say, you know, we don't like this shit, get this off of here, and others will say, we want to leave it up, and that'll be up to the user to decide.
Then how
which index they use
with illegal stuff, like illegal content. For example.
Well, if we create the ability for an index.
Oh, I guess because you can't. Okay.
If we create the framework for these indexes to exist, it doesn't necessarily mean that we even own the index.
Oh, right. Okay. Oh, so this is just creating the framework.
Yeah.
Oh, I understand.
Yeah, it's not like we're hosting.
Because you're not hosting. Yeah. You're hosting on whoever's computer.
Correct.
And that would then.
Yeah. So if we create the framework for an index, it doesn't necessarily mean that we have to own the index. These are all things that we're brainstorming as we go, and also programming.
Okay. So
we're kind of figuring this. A lot of this stuff is getting figured out as we go. Like even figuring out like which people to give grants to. Like this is all kind of being figured out as we go. Like I'm using the device that we gave a grant to. And then what we do is we figure out all the things that are wrong with alt text. A lot of alt text stuff sucks. We figure out what sucks about it. We make a list, and then we say, okay, if you're open to working on this, we will give you grant number 2.
I sometimes feel like I'm just...
4 or 5, and so on and so forth. So a lot of this, we're looking for people that are open to building with us. But also
sometimes I feel like I'm just, pre-recorded, like,
this is really interesting. So what kind of opportunities would you have from someone who's like prospecting?
Tell you what would be nice and better
So I'm currently a software.
We'd probably be looking at like a software engineering internship.
Yes.
And if you ask me what specific skill sets we would want,
I wish I could like
he's the chief programmer
based on a certain
I'm not going to be
frame.
So you're okay. So you're
Should we pretend that we can hear you?
Yeah. So I have a repair shop that does component level repair and data recovery.
Like I wish I could look for a video and say, I know I'm looking for this video and I know it came out in March of 2020.
Oh, I think I've seen your videos.
Yeah, so the dude called me and said, out of the blue, and said, what would you do with $1 million?
Really?
So what's my phone number is public.
I have to come over here.
So first I'm like, yeah, fuck off. I hang up. And then
I wish I could like look for a video and say, like, I know it came out in March of 2020, but you can't do that on YouTube.
My goal is to try to get as many people as possible to realize that this is not a scam, this is not a joke, everything he's doing is real. So I was the first donation. He gave my nonprofit $1 million. We passed the right to repair bill in Colorado. We make it from passed in New York. We've created dozens of very, very detailed guides that we pay users for on repair.wiki, all because of his donation. So it's like so my job is to get the word out on what's actually going on. However, I can't program for shit. So if you want to know specifically which skill sets, languages, etc. we're looking for, I would talk to Charles.
Okay, I will do that. Thank you. What was your name?
Lewis.
Noah.
Pleasure to meet you. Have a card.
Oh, great. I don't have a resume, unfortunately.
You could always email.
Oh, great. Awesome.
If you spell my name right, I'll get it. That's the test. It's a recruiting test.
The recruiting.
Most people can't spell my name right.
Which part? Which?
You can use this one.
No, I was saying which part can they spell right?
Oh, 2 N's versus 1 N. It's German versus Jewish. So 1 N is Jewish, 2 N's is German.
Are you Jewish?
I'm German. Mostly Italian, partially German, but everybody leaves off the last N.
Because I knew a guy that was Brosman with 1 S, 1 N.
1 S?
1 S.
That's insane.
But he
got robbed.
He got like hard.
You know, usually on the prices, what is it, the Wheel of Fortune, it's the vowels that are expensive, not the consonants. Why would you cheap out on the consonants? I don't get it.
I don't know. It's compact.
It was a pleasure meeting you.
Pleasure meeting you.
Pleasure. How are you?
My name is Karan. Thank you for the work you do.
Thank you. Pleasure meeting.
Peter and Carl were here. They got me onto. So I've been a long time viewer of your videos.
Awesome.
And like my Note 9 slapped together too. I still carry this because it's got everything I need. But yeah, I was just kind of wanted to know more from your side as somebody who is more on the hardware level of things. So I am an electrical engineer, I'm not a software engineer, and I have a lot of competitive experience. So I wanted to see where do you see this going, and if you see it would be more to board level stuff itself.
One of the donations that we did was to Beagleboard.
Okay.
Because honestly, I forget the entire thing behind it. Charles would know this better than me. But there are certain elements that are not open in the GPIOs for for graphics when you're dealing with Raspberry Pi.
Okay.
And we're looking to create something that's a little bit more open than the Raspberry Pi.
Okay.
He's also working on a project where the entire machine boots up with less than 100,000 lines of code.
Right.
Which is like a personal challenge. So if you're like an embedded systems engineer or something like that, I honestly would love to pick your brain. I think Aaron, the founder, would also love to pick your brain. I can't explain the specific. I have to look it up. But yeah, there's one project where we're looking at an alternative to the Raspberry Pi where everything is open and nothing is proprietary.
Okay. Is that you think it's a sci-fi board that you're talking about or something else? Is it like when you say everything is open?
Give me 1 second. Let me actually open the document so I can look this up. So